How has fashion photography changed since the 1950s? In this documentary, I will examine the changing style of fashion photography and some iconic photographers who changed the way we see fashion. Since the 1950s, we've seen many great photographers, some so creative that they've changed the art form. A great fashion photographer must mix modernity and nostalgia together while showing the garment at its best. After World War II, fashion dramatically changed. New designers emerged and fashion models started to become famous. Innovative approaches to photography followed. By the 1950s, the set studio shot, which was staid and elegant, started to give away the new fluid, spontaneous and energetic style of the 1960s. In the 1970s, the feminist movement started to influence the fashion industry and how women were represented in photography. A lot of new women photographers gave a new style to the art form, and fashion became more casual and practical in style, which led to a change to a more natural style of photography. In the 1980s, fashion became big business with large advertising campaigns and the rise of supermodels like Cindy Crawford and Naomi Campbell, who soon became as famous as film stars. Modern fashion photography blurs the line between artistic and commercial, and digital photography has helped photographers like Ellen von Unwerth and David LaChapelle stretch the art form. Edward Steichen, 1879–1973, was an American Luxembourgish photographer, often credited with transforming photography into an art form. He was the first real fashion photographer and was a pioneer who still influences photographers today. Richard Avedon, 1923–2004, was an American fashion photographer who worked for Harper's Bazaar and Vogue. He specialized in capturing movement in still photography. Avedon did not conform to the standard studio fashion shot where models stood emotionless and indifferent to the camera. He showed the models smiling and laughing. He often shot his photos outside, which was revolutionary at the time. David Bailey, 1938 to present, is a British photographer. In 1958, he bought a camera and decided to become a photographer. He often worked for British Vogue. His work was raw and candid in style. He captured London in the swinging 60s. He was the first celebrity photographer and captured many famous and iconic people from the time, like the Krays and Michelle King. Helmut Newton, 1920–2004, was a German-Australian photographer. He had a unique style. He mostly shot in black and white. His style was surreal, provocative, subversive and erotically charged. He used strange props like a stuffed crocodile. He not only shot for fashion magazines but did numerous shots for Playboy in the 70s. The studio shot became more popular again, which helped him create his more artistic photos. 1980s to 90s. The rise of consumerism and the new fashion brands led to large fashion campaigns which brought a change to the way photographers worked. Fashion labels became an important part of the fashion industry. In 1992, Bruce Weber's campaign for Calvin Klein was a notable example of this, using his iconic images of Kate Moss and Mark Wahlberg to sell underwear. Today, fashion models are making way for the super celebrities who have their own social media following. These celebs now head advertising campaigns and grace the front of magazines. Social media is even influencing the way fashion photography is. The fall in magazine sales shows that people are now using social media to view fashion on their phones, so the photos need to work on a smaller scale. New fashion campaigns are even copying the natural style of amateur photographers on social media.